Hello, I'm Derek, and welcome to Hindsight 101, where you learn about things that will help you in everyday life. Now, I'm not a big traveler because I don't really like to travel, but when I do, because I have a big family, I have 5 essential items that I have to have, or I'm just going to be miserable. Now, I do have a bonus one, so let's say we have 6 essential items. Now, if you have any essential items that I don't mention, please put them in the comments below so you can share them with other people. But with that said, let's get started. So the first one I want to talk about is a travel router. So what is a travel router as opposed to just a normal router? So if you're not familiar with it at all, it's the thing that gets the internet for you. You have a modem and a router, or sometimes you have a combo. That's what this is. But you see, this is a normal size one, and this is a travel router. So really the main difference is the size. You can travel with it, and you don't have this big bulky thing, because when you're traveling, space is limited. So let's just put that to the side, but just give you for a size reference. Now, the other thing that works well with this is it's designed for travel. And what I mean for that is there's certain things built into here in the software that will make things more secure for you and easier for you when you're trying to get internet in a hotel. So let me talk about how I use it. So the first one that I use it for is for security purposes. Now, when you go to a hotel, you don't know if their internet is secure or not really secure or very secure. It could run the gambit, and if you ask, you might not get a straight answer. So instead of depending on the hotel staff, I'm going to depend on myself and bring a little more security with me. So how this works is you're connecting to the router, and then you send all your information, your tablet, streaming, phone, whatever you have. It'll go through here and it'll go out into the hotel Wi-Fi, but nothing will be able to come back in. You never know if you have someone shady on there, because a lot of times they just leave it open, so it's not very secure, so people can see this, that, and the other if you know what you're doing. So with this gives you a little added protection to keep any unwanted things out of your hotel room and your little personal network that you have built into that room. So the other good feature about having this is some places like cruise ships and hotels, they charge you for internet per device, and that can get very expensive, especially per device per day. So with this, you will only get charged for one device, and that would be the router. So how does that work? So basically, like I said, there's special software in here that they know that you're going to be in hotels, you're going to have this issue. So it essentially lets you log in, through that little captive portal where it will say, what's your room number, this, blah, blah, blah. You can do that through here, and then it's just going to see this device as one device, and then you can take your tablet, phone, streaming device, anything you have, and as long as it's connected through here, it will not count as a device you have to pay for. Everything will look like one device is sending all this traffic, and that's a great thing. So that's the other reason why I love having travel routers. There's a whole lot of stuff in the software, a lot of features that I'm not talking about. There's also things like a VPN. Won't get into that too much, but it's just a way to kind of, some people say, secure your traffic, which it can if you trust your VPN, stuff like that. But the main reason why I like a VPN is I make a VPN connection, a secure connection between this router and my house. So the reason why I do that is my wife, she works from home, but she has to work from her home station or she could get in trouble. So sometimes she wants to travel and work. So what she will do is she'll take her laptop with her, and then she will log into this router. I will connect to our home network, and then all the traffic will go through this router to our home network, and it looks like she's at home and not in another country, another state, or whatever. And that's a great feature. So she doesn't really have to take too much time off of work. She could work for a couple of hours while we're doing whatever, and then get back to our vacation. That's why I'm saying I love travel routers. So let's get to the next one. So the next thing I'm going to talk about is a streaming device. You have a lot of different streaming devices. You can get a Google TV, Apple TV, a Roku, or you can get some of those off-brand Android boxes. It doesn't matter. I like the Fire TVs. Let me tell you why I like the Fire TVs. The only thing I wouldn't go for is like the cheapest one. I think they're like, $20 or something like that. Those are nice, but they won't work well for travel for some of the things that I'm going to talk about, because not all the features trickle down to the low-end models. So at least get like the 4K Fire Sticks or stuff like that. But I like just traveling with the cubes, or, if you're looking this a little later in the future, any of their high-end ones, I do travel with these. And I'll tell you why in just a moment. Now, the main reason why is the entertainment in the hotel room usually sucks, or you have to pay for it for anything good. So I just want to bring a box that's already set up that has my Hulu, Netflix, Paramount, whatever on here, and I can just watch whatever I want, instead of having to be only have like 2 or 3 channels to watch and there's nothing on. Especially when you have kids, you want to make sure you have something to keep them occupied during those slow times. Now, the other reason why I like this is sometimes I run into issues when I'm hooking up to a TV. So a lot of these TVs have, I would call like an interface cable box that hooks up to it, that, that's how you get all your channels and your pay-per-view and stuff like that. But once you disconnect that HDMI cable, that TV becomes useless and it's just a monitor. So, and you don't even have a remote with it, because a lot of times the remote that comes with it works with that interface box and not the actual TV, so you can't control the TV with a remote. So that's why the streaming box is so handy, because once you hook it up, then that opens up a lot of possibilities. So for one, the possibility is you get more channels, you can control the TV, especially with the Fire TVs. Not a lot of the other streaming boxes will do this, is you can set it up. You have to go through a couple menus. You could control another device like the TV. So if you hook this up, go through the menu, and then if there's like an LG or Samsung TV, you just tell it, oh, this is an LG TV. It'll go through a couple things, and then you can control that TV, the volume, change the channels, whatever you need to do. You could do that on your Fire TV remote, which is awesome. And that's why I like that, is because I can control it with stuff that I already know instead of trying to figure out. Plus, sometimes those remotes can be a little gross because, they don't always clean the remotes. So I can use something from home that I know that I'm comfortable with. Now, the other thing that I like about this is, it's kind of a little side note. I don't know if you're going to have a projector, but this works really well with projectors as well, whereas, again, some of the other ones do not. And the reason I'm saying this is because sometimes I can't get a full picture onto the projector screen for whatever reason. No matter what I do on the projector, it will just not expand the video. On here, the Fire TV, you can scale up or scale down, so then I could actually get it to fit better on a projector screen. And that's definitely one feature that I love as well. I hope they never get rid of that. So there's another issue that I have that the next item is going to help with. So let's just put this to the side. So the third item is a Bluetooth speaker. So this is the Anchor speaker. I actually really like it. It's small. It has a built-in battery. The built-in battery is a must, so make sure you have a built-in battery. But the reason why I like this so much is because a lot of these small Bluetooth speakers can be tinny. And this one has a nice full sound, and it wasn't that expensive to purchase. So keep that in mind. And then it's very easy to use. Just power, volume up, volume down, play, and Bluetooth. So you don't have a whole lot to it. Very easy to use. But the reason why I like to bring this with me, and I've had this at just one particular hotel that I stay at, that when I disconnect that interface box to the TV, for some reason it's always set, the volume is set to 100. Don't know why, but it is so annoying, and it's just blasting and everyone can hear it from like a couple rooms down. So I can't control that, because I said that remote doesn't work for the TV, it works for the interface box. So when I hook up the Fire TV to it, and I hook up the Bluetooth speaker, now I can control the volume because it's all going through the Bluetooth speaker and not the TV. So, and then I can just control the volume from this remote. Again, nice little feature. But the other things that I can do with this is, say my wife is sleeping next to me and she doesn't want to hear the TV that loud, I can put this on the nightstand next to me, have it very low. I can still hear it, but it won't bother her. Now also, if you're on a beach vacation or something like that, this is great to bring to the beach. Definitely loud enough. Just because it's small doesn't mean it's not mighty. And so, like I said, it has the battery in it too as well, so you can bring it to a place that doesn't have an outlet. So multi-uses, definitely the way to go. So my next item is more for my ick factor, because I'm just kind of, I guess, a germaphobe, and I just really don't like being around icky places, I guess you can say. So this is a black light. And I like having a black light because I like to see how gross the room is. So I'll just take this around the bed, around the carpet, in the bathroom, and basically anything that lights up bright, that's a stain usually. So, a carpet or something like that, if it has little speckles here and there, no big deal. But if it looks like a murder scene, you're going to want to change rooms or maybe even leave the hotel. But definitely, when you first check in, close all the windows, make it as dark as possible, and then turn off all the lights and just walk around the room and check out what you see. Like I said, nothing's going to be perfect, but it shouldn't look splattered and gross, like no one's cleaned up that room. And especially your sheets should be clean. The rest of the room could have a little here and there, but your sheets, where you're going to sleep, should be clean. So the fifth thing we're going to talk about is a multi-plug extension cord. And why would you bring this on a trip? So for one, I have a big family, a lot of devices to charge, and sometimes the plugs in hotels room, either there's not a lot of them or they're just not in a convenient place to put them. So I want a long extension cord with multiple ports that I can plug quite a few things in, and I have no issues and no one's complaining that something in this, that, and the other doesn't work. So that's why I like having this. It has a couple USB-A ports, it has 3 plugs, it has an on-off switch, and this is personal preference, but this one has an app that controls it. I don't really use it that often, but sometimes it has come in handy, but it's an extra feature I really didn't need, but I've used it a few times when I don't want to get out of bed and I want to turn something off. But yes, definitely like this. I'm going to probably upgrade to a model that has more USB-C ports instead of A, just because I want to bring less cords with me. So I'll probably get something like that, but this works out just fine. The other reason why I have it, because like I said, multi-use items, so I can use it different things so I'm not wasting space in my luggage, is when you're at an airport and you're trying to look for somewhere to charge your phone. A lot of airports now have charging stations, but no matter what, they're always full, and depending on when you get there, you might get lucky, but you probably won't. So if you ask someone to say, hey, can I unplug that and you can plug into my extension cord, and then they can plug in, you can plug in, you could probably plug in a couple other people. And then even if you only stay there for a half an hour, that's a half an hour everyone gets to charge their stuff instead of one person taking up a whole port. And that's why I like this, is I can take it there too. And it works out beautifully. So I actually saw someone else do it, and ever since then, I made sure to have my own. So let's get to that bonus one. It's not really a bonus one. It's more just kind of a pet peeve of mine that I like to keep around, but I like to keep jumbo paper clips with me. I think I got 6 for like $1 from the dollar store, so they're not that expensive, but they're invaluable. So the main reason why I like these is I'm a vampire and I like to be in the dark. I like hotels that have blackout curtains, but the problem is there's always that little sliver of light that beams through because of how the curtains touch, or even on the sides. So all I do is just take this, put them together and close them up, and I'm in heaven. And then on the edges, you can clip them to certain things and stuff like that. So I want to keep out as much light as possible. It's a wonderful thing. But again, multi-use item. So with this, and forgive me, I haven't done it in forever, so I don't remember, but Google it. You can turn these, if you have 2 of them, you can turn them into a little phone stand holder. If you want to put them on a nightstand, or say you're on the plane and you want to prop up your phone, you bring down the food tray, put it there, you can watch it. You put it in some weird configuration and just put it on top and it'll hold it. Like I said, I don't remember how to configure it, but like I said, Google it. It's on YouTube. There's plenty of people talking about how to change these into little phone stands. So I hope this helps. Take care. And if you like what you saw, hit the like button. And if you want to see more, check out some of my other videos. Take care.